With a couple stars almost certainly not returning to WWE and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. On Reffing It Up, Deonna Purrazzo talked about a plan previously in place for her to lose her Impact Knockouts title to Thunder Rosa. Bound for Glory 2020, Kylie Ray got hurt. My surprise opponent was Sue. I did lose. They had me win it back 3 or 4 weeks later in a no DQ match. There was supposed to be one other time, right before Slammiversary 2021, where I ended up wrestling Thunder Rosa, that I was maybe going to lose, but I was doing stuff with AAA, and whether it was a miscommunication or what it was, my AAA match for Triple Mania became a title versus title match, and then I couldn't lose because I had said I would put the title on the line. I went to them and was like, I'm down to do whatever you need. If I'm not the champion, that's fine, but whoever is the champion needs to go to Triple Mania and not me. That way the Knockouts Championship is still defended and it's still title versus title. But now there are other implications and things involved that are bigger than one match. I ended up keeping it. They didn't know what my match at Slammiversary was going to be. I ended up wrestling someone else and they had to leave. And it was a whole thing. The mystery opponent was, I didn't know until a couple days before. Then Mickey got released from WWE and it all fell into place. But there were those 2 times where I was supposed to lose, but things happened and I was maybe going to lose, but maybe not. No one could really figure it out. But there were so many outside forces happening that had me hold on to it way longer. Former NWA Tag Team Champion Johnny Swinger revealed on the House of Hardcore podcast that he signed a contract extension with Impact Wrestling. When asked about this by Tommy Dreamer, he responded, "Yep, 1 more year in the sun, right? They're offering me another year. That makes me feel good that I'm a pliable character, that you just cameo into something and you have a good idea and it's like boom. It's an easy, simple thing and everybody gets it. I'm just so grateful for the chance to come back on a TV level and do this character, which it's not really a character. It's just what I am and what I've seen, and I add a lot of color to it and I watch a lot of people." Speaking to Metro about his angle with the Bloodline, Sami Zayn mentioned that he hopes it will go on forever. It's a really exciting time for me, and I'm very thankful that I'm in a pretty good position at the moment to enjoy it all. Fingers crossed, we do this forever. I personally like a bit of a smorgasbord, so to speak. I like to offer a little bit of everything when I can. I like to offer a little bit of comedy, a little bit of emotion, quality action. I just think that's when wrestling's at its best, actually. You have all these elements all going simultaneously with great storytelling, great characters, some good laughs, some great matches. You just mix all that together. It's a can't miss formula. That's what I like as a fan, so that's what I try to put out when I perform. While Serena Deeb serves as a coach for AEW, she has been doing less of that to wrestle more. As she told the flagship, "I've been coaching a little less because I've been wrestling more." It's honestly hard to do both on the same day because if you're wrestling, you have to focus on the whole process of getting ready and on what you're doing in the match. In the past, when I had my knee injury, I was still traveling every week and I was coaching 2 to 3 matches a night. I want to give a shout out to Cody Rhodes because Cody always believed in me and would say to me, "You're my coach. I want you as my coach." He always put me in that role for him and showed me that respect. That was really huge for me and I really appreciated that. When I'm not wrestling, I do want to be coaching, but I've been doing more wrestling. When they have me on AEW Elevation or AEW Dark, they don't give me producing roles because everyone on there has been a wrestler and they understand that if you have a match, it's too much to also be coaching or producing. I did that on AEW Rampage about a month ago where I coached and wrestled the same night. Giving an update on a new AEW signing, Sean Ross Sapp reported that this past week, Josh Woods was added to the official All Elite Wrestling roster page after working in the company for several months without being listed. After asking around with AEW sources, it was confirmed to Fightful that Woods recently signed a multi-year full-time contract, which effectively removes him from the free agent market. Woods had previously worked in NXT before being released and spending years in Ring of Honor. After Ring of Honor's purchase, he started to work AEW dates, teaming with Tony Nese and being managed by Smart Mark Sterling. Those that we spoke with said that the deal is 3 years in length, though we don't know when the contract officially started and if there are option years involved. Nese and Woods, collectively known as the Varsity Athletes, competed against the Acclaimed in an AEW World Tag Team title match on the October episode of Rampage. Woods also wrestled for the ROH Pure title on Dark back in May after losing the title to Wheeler Yuta at Supercard of Honor. Giving an update on the big guy possibly returning to WWE, Steve Carrier of Ringside News reported that we've asked about some names floating around for a return. We have confirmed that Ryback is not one of them. There is little upside to bringing him back, and he is a terrible human being. Speaking of former WWE stars that will more than likely not be returning to the company, Ringside News would also note that WWE could bring back even more ex-stars, but we can nix one more name off the list. We were told that it's hard to picture Alberto Del Rio ever receiving welcome back to the company. Speaking to Inside the Ropes, Bryan Danielson touched on nearly signing with Ring of Honor after finishing out one of his WWE deals. It was really interesting. My contract with WWE was up in 2018 and I was considering going to Ring of Honor, and I was talking to the Young Bucks and I was talking to Cody Rhodes just to kind of see. All their contracts were up with Ring of Honor and I was like, what are you guys going to do? Because even my lawyer, who doesn't know anything about pro wrestling, he said, hey, I don't think you'd want to sign with Ring of Honor if these Young Bucks aren't going, because they've got this YouTube show. I don't know if you've heard of it, called Being the Elite, and it's essentially the driver for the popularity of Ring of Honor at the time, right? And so those guys go away. We don't know if Ring of Honor will nearly still be as popular, and then with Cody's contract coming up, if they leave and Cody leaves, what will Ring of Honor's popularity be like? So that was part of the discussion. When asked if he had seen the Netflix series You about a romantic killer, Wardlow said on Busted Open Radio, I have girls chained up in my bedroom, but no one in my basement. Talking about his upcoming match against Taven on Rampage, he said, the night before, I do usually spin with a beautiful woman to keep my mind off of things, and I wake up in the proper headspace. I'm thinking about everything other than my opponent, essentially. I do some serious training. I'm always doing serious training. When people ask me, how do you prep for this match? I prep for the biggest match of my life every week of my life. That's why I am who I am and why I'll be where I'm going. I live a little differently. I treat every gym session like I'm preparing for the biggest pay-per-view title match of my life. That's what is going to get me to that moment. Usually, the night before, I like to have a good dinner, be with a beautiful woman, wake up clear-minded, and I'm about to eat the biggest breakfast. I eat a monster breakfast on the day of the show. Then I'm going to eat Matt Taven alive. It's just another match. We know how this goes. You know what you're getting with Wardlow. I'm going to beat the out of him, powerbomb him multiple times, and I'm going to win. Mike Bennett and his little girlfriend want to get involved. I'll take them too. Talking about stepping back as a full-time commentator in AEW, Jim Ross said on his Grilling JR podcast, we're trying real hard to try and make that 1-hour show, improve to make it better. I like working with Excalibur and Shivani. I think that's our best group, at least for me because I'm working. I miss being on Dynamite, but I'm glad Tony put me on Rampage because I want to help build that brand. That was the concept. Put JR on Friday nights, maybe viewers will tune in out of old time's sake or whatever the reason may be. It's an hour show. That's how I started my career. Looks like that's how I'm going to end recommended doing 1-hour shows. If that's the case, that's fine with me. Ross would also reveal that he is cancer-free. I had a good week regarding my cancer issues. I'm going to start next week with some treatment. I can't remember what the thing is called. I want to say hyperbaric chamber or something along those lines. I'm going on Tuesday for my first test run and see how that's going to work. They think it will speed up the healing, and if it does, then I win. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a few wins in this project, so at least we're making some progress there. I still think it's going to be about a year of healing this wound. I'm just tired of dressing it, undressing it, medicating, and all this In any event, life is good. I'm alive. I have no cancer, and I'm just healing these burns, and that's what they are. It looks like I got caught on fire or something, so it's looking a lot better than it did. So anyway, I'm blessed. I'm better than I was. On the Masked Man show, MLW owner Court Bauer touched on AEW president Tony Khan and his handling of the backstage issues in the company, as he said, "You have leadership that if you do X, Y is going to happen. Sometimes it's a little grayer. So I think this is one of those moments where the locker room's going to learn. What are the consequences if we do this? Are there consequences?" And now the onus is on Tony Khan to determine how he wants to dictate his leadership role. How does he want the boys and girls to look at him? With a video package airing on Dynamite showing the Elite, the trio were reportedly backstage during the show as well. Speaking about possible plans for their comeback, Bryan Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Radio, "I'm pretty sure they are going to be wrestling for the trios title when they come back." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.